actual center of a crop circle. As you'll see them branch out, this is just earth, but they'll be broken or bent in one, two places. Again, the same as the center is the same as every place else, broken in two places or bent in two places in a swirling type pattern. But they all lay like the bottom of a basket. One appears to be laying on the top of the other. Now right here in this dark area here is a tractor rut, where the rut of the tractor tire is, or called a tram line. There's nothing here except this one little piece of plant, okay? And it is green, as we can say. It was a late starter. And the very bottom, just about an inch below the bottom base node, just about 2 inches from the ground, it is bent. But the other one, that's in the same pod, the same base root, is not bent at all. It is just laying flat down on the ground. The top one lays on top of it, and that's what keeps it down. It's not bent, it's just lying down. So here, even in a tractor line, what green late starters are affected exactly the same way as everything else. And you can see they're still growing. They're still green. See, they're still growing. They've not been affected. But again, it's a swirling type. I'm using a hay type mechanism to fold over the crop circle. Now there's not only one of these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's right 10 of these major circles. This is about 50 yards across, and there's one major circle in the middle, and they fan out like a large star with 10 points. In England, the farmers fertilize and spray pesticides by tractor, which leaves like a tram line, as they call it, or a tractor line from the tire of the tractor. Now here is a classic example of a tram line that the force of it just laid the plants over it, but not into it. They're not pushed into the tractor, the rut of the tractor. See what I'm saying right here? They're just lying on top of it. They're not forced, they're not broken. The heads are not broken. They are not like I rolled something across it. It's as if they've just been gently pushed. But now we see here, just on the other side of the line, that the roots here, where my finger is at, have been bent at the ground level. But when I pick up just one, we'll see that they have been bent from the ground, or at the ground, to here. So we know all that's touching it, the energy that's only touching it, is less than a foot from the ground up. Okay, here in this crop circle, we have found these crops right here, bent in two places. Here at the base of the root, which are still intact, and then they're bent backwards in this wave motion. We're at the edge, and we'll see a few here. They're bent completely backwards that were standing upright, but they've been kicked backwards like this and then pulled back like that. This is something very, very unique. This was made when it was wet. The crop circle was wet, and it was made in two sections. One on August 10th? 10th, on August 10th, on August 11th. And today is August 11th, right? So what we've got here is the flow pattern, right? Mm-hmm. That could be reversed. But here it states that it's probably pushed in a fluctuation pattern or weavement pattern, and these are pushed in this direction, and they're pushed back upon themselves. They're actually twisted or rolled backwards upon themselves. On the other side, what's this?
We have the nodes. This is what's happening now.
Okay,
Can
it's
you get
breaking
a
on the
tight one
nodes.
On this?
Yeah.
It's hanging. Can you? I don't know. If
I'm right
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
she has a very good lens on that. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Right through the node, and it's hanging by a hair. So this is better than split. This is.
So this has been
almost
bent.
decapitated.
Yeah, it's been bent
snapped.
but not broken. Now in the center, in the very center of the circle, this was sheared off.
Yeah.
And they broke at the nodes, as if the nodes created enough heat energy not only to bend at the base, but to bend someplace else as they were being forced. So let's say the plant in this area received the most amount of energy, and this is where it bends. I mean, this is where it actually gets weak enough to bend. The rest of the plant is totally untouched. Oops, sorry.
It's really loose.
Totally untouched because this does not decay. So we know that the energy force is only 6 to 8 inches. It's here. It's less than a foot, or about a foot from or just above the ground. So it bends at the base of the root, right? Then it bends at the first or second or third node. Yes, that's the pressure point. Like an elbow takes the pressure of a tennis swing. This is where the kinetic energy is going to be. Now, even though this is not bent, we do see the other places that are bent.
One thing that you're not going to find on these are the green, big fat green swollen nodes. Not very many of them that have been downed. All the energy, all of the water has been sucked to them and they're dehydrated.
Most of the nodes are dehydrated.
Yeah.
Pushed out, forced out, as if forced out by the pressure. It's either a swirling motion like this, or an overlay motion that's making them look this way. Okay, now we'll go down to the next interesting avenue. In this particular crop circle, it was done in 2 sections, as we said. One of the outer rings was made later, the next day. Now this was made earlier, but as we see, these rotate as if something starts here and moves that direction, and then makes a complete geometric symbol, and then comes back this way, and then lays back on top. In other crop circles, these are even. This would cover up this line, and this would cover up the other line, so that it's like a basket weaver would cover up the ends of the reed that he's working on. That's exactly how this is done. It's not like a paintbrush where the force of the brushes push paint across the canvas. This is more of a weaving, a spinning indication to cover everything up. It's more of a spinning. But you can see here, this is unusual because it actually lays across. You actually see a line of starting and a line of finishing, which goes all the way around. In this corner here and on both sides, we'll see that this corn is actually forced back. It's been pushed back. Whether it was laying down first straight, we don't know. But right now, as we see it, it's been bent back. It's been bent back at the nodes and then bent again here toward the top nodes. It's like it was bent and it lays down. It was probably straight, or could have been straight, and it was bent around this corner. As you'll follow it all around, you see the demarcation line where it actually begins, and then it comes within a few feet inside, and you'll see it actually goes too far. These are lying on top, as if something made that corner. It actually came over and made the corner and then came back, laid everything on its side, and then stopped, and then it goes back to a definite line again. As if a pencil makes a mark, but it's gone too far, like a draftsman, and then readjusts itself to go along the edge of the mark. And you'll see here, there's very few that are standing. It's almost right on the clumps. The clumps, it's like the clumps have been taken in half. There's one bent, there's 4 standing. All these are standing. It's actually as if the ones that are fallen are assigned to one clump. The ones that are standing are different clumps altogether. Right here is a classic indication of where we have a line, and we have a few of the crop circles, few of the crops bent at the top, as if it's a spinning motion. It's actually being laid upon itself like a farm rake or a rake would do when it's spinning hay. When a farm rake spins hay, it will flip it And that's exactly what we're seeing here. These are, they look straight, but they're really not. They're actually being bent upon themselves and then being bent either once, then twice, as they lay down on top of each other. But the reason why the tops do not decay is because there's no energy at that point. Here is a full bend just above the earth. Full bend here. I'm going to lift this individual sock up, and there is no other bend at any of the nodes anywhere. And this is extremely wet because of the rain. The bend is only at one place, at one of the fracture points, or the base node here. So it's like if I took a farm rake and I came out into a field and I raked it, but I raked it only at the base of the plant, and I left the top of the plant alone. Or at least it doesn't receive any of the physical indications as the rest of the plant. Meaning the top of the plant is not bent or broken. It's not broken in several places. It's only bent and broken at the bottom. But I shouldn't use the word broken. I should just use maybe the word bent, because none of these are ever broken.